Aftershow episode 2. I can't really believe that I'm recording an intro for a second episode. I don't think we'd get this far, but here we are. There's not really much that I need to set up with this episode, only to let you know that this one is only going to be me and Alex. Joey's away, he'll be back for the next one, so don't get too upset, he'll be back soon. And other than that, we pretty much cover exclusively music and TV with this one. Music, TV, and the fact that I've never listened to the band Fucked Up. So yeah, I still haven't actually. I said I would after we finished recording, which was yesterday, and I still haven't. I'll listen to them by the next episode, and I'll let you know what I think if you're that worried about it. Other than that, we premiered on the Close to Home blog earlier this week a song from Luke Rainsford. It's a brand new song from his album that comes out next week. It's called Nightmares. It's kind of a pop-punk influenced acoustic track, which is the vibe of the whole album. It's really good. There's like 3 songs that are out already that you can go and listen to, all on the same blog post of Close to Home. And we also managed to get a track-by-track rundown from Luke himself. He just talks through every song on the album, even the ones you haven't heard yet. So you can go and read that. Be prepared for the album release next week. And you can pre-order the record as well. It's on vinyl. So if you like what you hear, you can go and pre-order the record on 12-inch. And all those links, anything you need to do that, will all be on the blog post, which I'll link in the description area of wherever you're listening to this now. So yeah, that's about it. Enjoy. We're Joey-less.
We're Joey-less today.
We're 1 episode in, or 2 episodes in, and we're already that podcast.
We're already lost a co-star.
We're already one of those, so-and-so isn't here this week, sorry. What if Joey's someone's favourite?
Well, I mean, he's probably the most famous out of us all, so...
He's the most followed on Instagram. You realise if we don't get that many listens
it's all
as we
Joey.
did on the first, if we didn't get as many plays on this one as we got on the first one, we're not going to hear the end of it. Luckily, I'm the only one that can check that stuff. So
yeah. So ratings.
I can tell you now, this one has doubled. This one has actually doubled.
Ratings
already.
Boost for episode 2.
Menzingers?
Yeah, new album.
What are you saying on the new Menzingers?
I'm loving it.
Was you into them before?
No.
Properly?
No.
Not at all?
I mean, yeah, but not like religiously. Like, if they had a new album, I'd listen to it. I listened to it maybe 2 or 3 times, and then not that it was bad, I'd just forget about it or listen to something else. But this new album has really stuck with me, and it seems like they're getting quite a big push off of it.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like they, for whatever reason, I could be completely wrong, but there's certain bands of their
ilk.
Yeah, their kind of little scene where they probably operate in, and some of them have really big, have a really big presence in the UK, and some of them don't.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that one of them's better than the other, but it just means that one of them's thrown in our faces more than the other.
Yeah, or one of them have caught on a bit more.
And I feel like Menzingers aren't talked about that much over here, really.
No.
The only time I even found out who they were was because, and I'm not even 100% I'm talking about the same band here, but I'm pretty sure that they supported Tiger's Jaw years ago.
Yeah, that does ring a bell.
I found out who they were and obviously saw them and thought they were great, but past listening to a few singles, I didn't get into them at all until you told me to listen to this album. Yeah. And I've listened to it and it's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's great.
And I'll tell you what, the first track on it, at first, when I first listened to it, kind of put me off.
Okay.
Because I felt like I thought that I knew exactly what the album was going to be.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
It completely wasn't. But the first track on that album, although really good, is like I felt like it must have come out in like 2006 or something. Like when bands like Gaslight Anthem and that kind of
Yeah, it has got that feel to it, this record.
Yeah, that song in particular I'm fairly sure even like one of the vocal melodies are the same as a Gaslight Anthem vocal melody, like whether that's on purpose or not. But like it really reminded me of it, and I think because I loved the Gaslight Anthem and bands like that so long ago, and then kind of it wore off a little bit on me.
Yeah. I think that was because Gaslight Anthem just blew all of those bands away, and then I became less and less interested in what they were doing, and just all of the other bands kind of were less. I wasn't as interested in them anyway, so they just went.
But it felt like really nostalgic for me, even though I'm sure that kind of gruff punk type music is still like thriving. For me, I was into it for like a 3-year period a while ago, so it's like really nostalgic for me to hear a record like this. And that's just the first song, and then the rest of the album I thought was way better than that. Like it was way different to what I actually thought I was going to get from that first song, if that makes sense.
So I mean, I've got to mention something embarrassing, because I'm really glad I just checked this. So I thought that I knew of the Menzingers because I, for some reason, have the Fucked Up Weekend DVD, which is, and I still don't really know why they did this, but that Fucked Up released a DVD called the Fucked Up Weekend, which was a collection of bands including themselves at venues in 2008, I think. So like before Fucked Up were cool as well, in Toronto. And I thought I'd heard of the Menzingers there, and actually it's a band called the Transmitters, which is very similar. But I'm really glad I just checked that, because I did not hear of them there. But I heard of a very similar sounding band name.
I mean, it sounds, it ends in "ers."
Yeah.
And it starts with a "the." And
it's got Z in it. Trans is Z.
Oh, okay, so they spell it like that.
So it's very similar.
That is really
I mean, 2008.
I never got into Fucked Up.
Oh, man, they're such a good band. They're so consistent as well. Like, they constantly put out great albums, but every album is something new. It's not. They're not just a consistent punk band. Like, they do something new with every record, and they're awesome.
I tell you what, like, I saw them at Reading.
Oh, really?
Without knowing who they were. I just happened to see them for some reason. I think it must have been Reading 2007 or Reading 2008 or something like that. And I kind of thought that I wanted to listen to them afterward. Like, once we got back from the weekend, I was like, that band were pretty cool, and they're called Fucked Up, and I'm 15, and I think that's really cool. But I just never, I don't know. I don't know how I haven't actually properly got into them yet.
Yeah.
Like, I tried. I guess I must have listened to them a few times, but I couldn't tell you a song name from them.
I mean, if you're going to go back and listen to it, David Comes to Life album is incredible.
I'll listen to it, and I'll talk about it on the next one.
Yeah, I mean, it's their most popular song, but Queen of Hearts is one of the best punk, I would say, ballads ever written. Our boys in Basement this week signed to Fueled by Ramen Records.
Crazy to say, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just absolutely mad.
That is bizarre. It's a bizarre sentence to actually say out loud. Yeah. Basement on the same record label as 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
And Panic at the Disco.
Which is, like, I think it's a genius move from Fueled by Ramen.
Yeah, I think it's a great... I feel like Basement seem to make the most amazing decisions with this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, but I assume there was some other interest from other labels, even probably for Promise Everything the first time it came out.
Yeah, yeah.
And they decided to obviously stick with Run for Cover.
Yeah.
They seem to just make... It's like they don't make snap decisions, and then they tend to just wait it out, and then something amazing happens.
Yeah, you feel like they're just sort of... They're taking their time, which is really nice for a band now.
Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like if you at any given time, if you put them in like a list with bands that are similar to them, and then fast forward a year, they seem to have made some kind of decision or something has happened that none of those other bands have done.
Yeah,
Whereas
definitely.
with some of those other bands, 2 or 3 of them would have gone down the same path.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, they just seem to do so, even with like the tours that they do or the gigs that they decide to do. Like, they were the first band that I would, out of a particular circle of bands that I'm not going to just sit here and list off, but you can assume, like, you can kind of put that together. They were the first one that I saw just decide to play the Electric Ballroom and be we can do this now. And then since then, you know, like Creeper are playing that.
Yeah.
And it's not that Creeper were around the same time as Basement. They both started at different times and things like that. But before Basement did that, I don't know the last time that I saw a band like that decide to do that.
I think it's like bands that have come out of the UK hardcore scene, I guess.
Yeah.
Or the UK pop punk scene, you know, done sort of a smaller band that were popular in that scene.
I mean, they obviously had a break for like 2 years.
Yeah.
But that
even that was done well. And that's the thing as well, like that's obviously it wasn't planned, but they could have come back to no reaction at all. Like they were nowhere near as popular as they are now pre-split.
When they split up. Well,
and
I mean,
somehow they got back together and it just elevated them to like another level again.
I mean, their farewell show when they split up was at the Underworld, and it was sold out. It was packed.
Yeah.
Since they've got back together, the first venues that they played, I'm sure, were bigger than the Underworld.
Oh yeah.
They did that little. They're doing another one actually in like next month, but they did that little tour where they did all small venues in like weird towns that no one goes to.
I mean that's the thing. Basement are a band that can sell out Chinneries in Southend on like a Wednesday night.
Yeah, which like.
And the place went off as well. It was, you know, like,
it wasn't just like passers by going, "Oh, there's some live music."
Like everyone's
like
singing every word from, you know, older stuff like Earl Grey. Like people still knew all the words to that, and I genuinely thought in some cases it might just be me, you, and our group of friends. Yeah. Like play the old songs, but genuinely people were going off on a Wednesday night, and it's crazy to see.
It's like. They're just at that level now, but they still like on this tour that they're doing now. Have you seen what tour they're doing in like next month?
I think I've seen a poster, but I can't remember.
It's all smaller venues, but they're doing 2 dates at every one. So they're doing like 2 dates at the Joiners and 2 dates at King Tut's in
Southampton.
Joiners is Southampton, then King Tut's is like Glasgow.
That's
and they're doing those kind of venues, but they're doing 2.
That's pretty sweet.
And they're like not hitting London and stuff. They're doing like smaller towns, but they're taking Higher Power as their like support band,
nice.
Which is like I don't know. They obviously just decide everything themselves.
Yeah, which is which is I guess refreshing in the industry.
I guess though that is kind of the way that they were brought up to that level was by other bands doing that.
Yeah.
So like bands like Trapped Under Ice taking them on tour and things like that.
Yeah.
They took them on tour just because they liked them and then they obviously got on and things like that. So
I think that's the thing. I think the Bring Me the Horizon sort of arena tour, so to speak, that was the first big tour that they've done, if I remember rightly. Most of the tours have been with other punk bands or...
Yeah, I mean, they did that, but they supported Brand New, Alexandra Palace.
Oh, I did forget about that, yeah.
But I don't know if that was a tour or not. Oh, no, it was. I'm sure it was a tour.
Okay, all right, ignore what I just said.
But even that...
Cut that bit out.
But saying that, the Bring Me one is like just double the size of that.
Yeah.
Like easily, you know, O2 Arena is double the size of Alexandra Palace.
Yeah.
And that's... Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. But that after Basement taking those steps, it seemed like other bands who were their size or maybe a little bit less started to take them a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's an actual knock-on effect, like people have seen what Basement have managed to do, or if it's just a accidental knock-on effect.
Yeah.
But, you know, Moose Blood just went off. They just exploded. And...
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, Moose Blood exploded. Creeper exploded. You know, I saw Creeper doing like a Radio 1 piano session the other day.
Which
Insane.
is mad.
So like they exploded. You've got even bands that I wouldn't say have exploded as much in terms of how popular they are, but you've got bands like Boston Manor, for example, who are English, and they're signing to, you know, labels like Hopeless and whatever. I think they're on Hopeless anyway. They're on one of those labels, and it's like they were a small band over here. They're very good, but they were a small band. So I feel like after Basement have managed to do this, because they were doing it before a lot of these other bands, it made it easier for bands like that, and it seems to be happening quicker.
Yeah,
like Moose Blood haven't been around that long.
No, I mean,
and they've got like a number 10 UK album on their hands.
Yeah.
So I think it got to number 10. I'm sure I remember.
Yeah,
reading
it did
that.
well.
I'm sure I remember reading that. It was not number 10 in the chart or something like that. That could be wrong. I'll fact check that and cut it out if it's wrong.
Last episode, there was...
if I can,
yeah,
I'll edit this and put this at the beginning of the episode.
Okay, fine.
If I can't,
yeah.
Hello, we're halfway.
Yeah, so last episode, there's a couple of records that got thrown around that I think like one of us had listened to.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to give them all the credit for no reason, because you know I wouldn't do that just to big them up for no reason. But I think the only one that we'd all listened to was Palisades. Oh, God. Which is obviously the best record that we spoke about last week. But
yeah. So we mentioned the XX, which obviously me and Joe spoke about anyway. I think Joey hadn't listened to that.
Yeah, but even I hadn't actually listened to the record.
Oh, have you given it a proper listen now?
And now I've given it a proper listen.
What are you saying?
It's not as good.
No, it's not.
As I would have hoped after seeing the live performances. The live performances that Joey hated, that I loved, built me up for a record that I don't think I got.
I'm starting to feel the same now. I've listened to it a bit more, unfortunately.
It just... it took away everything that I loved about the XX. They used to make like stripped back pop songs that you think, oh, if there was like electronic drum beat over the top of this, or like a pumping like 4/4 beat, it would just be a dance song. But it's not, because they've done all this with it. Yeah. And now they've just put that 4/4 beat in all the songs. Yeah. And it just sounds like any old dance music to me. Like, it isn't even as good to me as listening to Jamie XX.
And I mean, the opposite of that for me is Code Orange, because the more I've listened to that, the more I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so that was another record that we spoke about that you and Joey had listened to and I hadn't.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't realise you hadn't listened to it.
I hadn't listened to it on the last episode, and I've listened to it since, and it's obviously incredible. Yeah. I haven't heard a band like this before.
It's just insane, isn't it?
Like, I've listened to heavy music. I've listened to hardcore bands for however many years. I've listened to metal bands for however many years.
Power violence band there, here.
Yeah, I've listened to all that. Yeah. None of them sound like this.
Yeah, it's just really...
like, none of them sound like this.
It is a really innovative, like, heavy, extreme... I mean, I think it's the more I've listened to it, the more I've really appreciated, like, the industrial samples they've used. Yeah. Because it almost feels like they're a really, really heavy band, but you can tell the kind of influences from, like, Throbbing Gristle or KLF or someone like that, to have that, you know, industrial element to it, and not just, you know, be that standard extreme band where it's 0 to breakneck, it's over in half an hour, every song but like, sort of sounds the same.
To be fair, they did that on the first record as well.
Yeah, but they killed it then as well.
Yeah, I know. So this band can't do any wrong for me now. That's 2 out of 2 for albums, and I even liked them before they dropped The Kids, when they were Code Orange Kids, and they released a few EPs. I was into that as a hardcore band. Like,
I think to drop 2 albums when you are that kind of extreme band, and for both of those albums to be 1, super good, and 2, actually innovative, like, I think that's why they're in a kind of a league of their own at the moment.
Amazing. So, and to be honest, I didn't think that there was going to be many bands that all three of us would agree on.
Yeah.
I thought one of the good things about this podcast was going to be that like there would always be at least two points of view, because generally there could be something that me and you love that Joey probably wouldn't have even listened to or bothered with.
Yeah, whereas like you and Joey listen to a lot of hip hop, and
you might have not got that.
I don't.
But then there's always the odd one as well that you and Joey have listened to that I haven't, like Code Orange last time.
Yeah.
So, but I think we found our first one that we all
all are pretty into. I'm really glad that Joey did actually recommend the new John Mayer EP.
I got to be honest, me too. I couldn't believe it. I listened to it because of some of the feedback that we had from certain people about the last episode. Was that why were we talking about stuff that none of us had seen or none of us had listened to, or like one of us had seen it and the other two hadn't? And so I made an effort to go back and listen to all the things that I dismissed in the last one.
As did I, yeah.
And John Mayer, the EP, was part of that. And it's really good.
Really? Do you know what? I'll be honest. I listened to it because I had a headache. I just got out from work. I normally when I get out from work, I'd probably listen to something a bit heavier. But there's days where I can't deal with it, and I listen to Planning for Burial or This Would Assure You or someone like that. And I was like, you know what? Let's just listen to the John Mayer EP.
Let's give John Mayer a go.
And that first song, I was just like, oh, this is really nice.
I was walking along listening to it, and I felt like I was in La La Land.
Didn't you? Yeah, like I felt like my fingers were going to start clicking.
My feet were going, and I was about to. But I obviously, if he was here, I would ask him. But I'm interested to know, having listened to the EP 3 or 4 times now, what that fourth song that he was on about. Because Joey said last time that 3 of the songs he could hum right now, but the fourth one he just hadn't listened to enough. And I've listened to them.
Piano track?
It might be, but I think that's one of the best songs on it. The fourth song.
I mean, there are only 4 songs though.
Yeah, but I'm saying that for that to be the one that he couldn't get into or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing. He's not here to...
Yeah.
The one that he said he hated, that one.
I mean, I don't want to talk about John Mayer 3 weeks in a row, but we may have to pick this up with Joey when he gets back.
Yeah, Close to Home Aftershow / John Mayer Appreciation Society.
I mean, I like John Mayer anyway because, do you know, other than knowing that he had that single that we discovered, Your Body is a Wonderland, last time.
Yeah, Wonderland. Yeah.
John Mayer wears a lot of Visvim, and when I was into Visvim, cause I'm not anymore because I'm too cool. But there was like a period of time where I was like getting really into Visvim and was like, like artisanal cowboy, man, it's going to be so cool. I discovered that I should just stick to my subculture and be a goth and wear like Yoji and Com. But anyway, when I was getting into it, like, strangely, so he's really like, his whole wardrobe is Visvim now. All of his on-stage clothes, everything. Okay. What I was saying last week, which I believe was cut from the episode, but who else has got a wardrobe full of Visvim, do you think?
What, I've got to name someone else?
Yeah. Musician, wears it all the time, wears it on stage. And I made a comparison last week.
Oh, I can't remember.
Eric Clapton.
Oh.
Mayer is the new Eric Clapton. This is what I'm saying.
Obviously, I cut it out, so just to explain. You said you made some comparison to Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
Or you said something along the lines of he's turning into Eric Clapton or something like that.
Well, yeah, words fail me sometimes.
I'll find the clip and I'll put it here. And I think Joey laughed and we were like, what is he saying? And then I cut it out because I had to cut a lot out. We spoke for 2 hours last time. It wasn't anything. I wasn't.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. But I just...
Turns out it was a valid point. So we were at this point going to talk about Split, the film.
The new M. Night Shyamalan gig.
Yeah, well, it kind of is new. It's been out a little while now, hasn't it?
Has it?
I'm pretty sure it came out like a few weeks ago at least.
Oh, all right.
2 or 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyway, I'm destined to not see this film. Because I've arranged to see this film, I think 4 times, maybe 3 times.
Shit.
And every time something's happened and I haven't gone. Like through it's not like, I don't know, it's not like I've chose to do something else.
It's not an M. Night Shyamalan plot twist.
No. It's just that something's happened and like I ended up like not getting home early enough from work or whatever. So I still haven't seen it. So we can't talk about it.
No.
Because as far as I'm aware, I'm supposed to avoid all spoilers for this film.
Yeah, I mean, I went into it cold.
Blind.
Like, Amy had shown me the trailer probably a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
I didn't know, like, what she said, do you want to go see Split? I immediately knew that it was the one about the guy with 24 personalities somehow.
Yeah.
So I must have seen the trailer.
Yeah.
So I went into it cold, which I very rarely do because I don't know why I like spoiling stuff for myself.
Oh, okay. Well, just to touch on that, but I do not want to know anything about anything that I'm about to watch. Like, I'll watch trailers, but I try and not, on purpose, I try and not analyse them. I try and not work out what the story's going to be. I just want to get a vibe of what the film's going to be like. So I do watch trailers and I kind of buy into the hype of trailers and things like that. But actual spoilers and stuff, I have to completely avoid.
Do you know what? I mean, I do spoil things for myself and like, I get no satisfaction out of it whatsoever. Like, I'll be watching a series and I'll literally just go on the episode list and see what happens in the last episode. I get no joy out of it.
I try and go in completely blind. TV shows, one of my favourite things about TV shows and movies is speculating.
Yeah.
And I drive Hannah insane by guessing everything that they're going to do. And sometimes we'll be watching something. I mean, I'm never right. I'm hardly ever right.
But it's just fun, isn't it?
But I like really trying to work out where they're going.
Yeah.
So we've been watching, since it come out, we've been watching How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay.
Which I'm not sure if you've seen or heard of.
Amy is pretty much obsessed by it. She loves it. So I have seen parts of it. I do generally know what goes on in it, but I haven't actually sat down and watched it.
So it's like, for the UK people, it's on Netflix, I think the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, first 2.
And the 3rd season is on at the moment.
Available by legal means.
It's airing in America and we're viewing it completely legally.
Yeah.
In some way.
Oh, yeah.
And but their big thing, certain TV shows do this, I guess, is that they have, for a fact, mid-season finale and season finale are going to have some huge reveal.
Yeah.
Something massive is going to happen. Not all TV shows do that.
No,
which is fair enough. Sometimes they'll have like a little thing on the mid-season finale. But a season of How to Get Away with Murder almost feels like 2 seasons.
Yeah, they do it really well.
Because it builds up to the mid-season finale just before Christmas, and then the second half of the season is almost the reaction to what just happened, but it also ends in a huge thing. So we've been watching that, and I've on purpose stayed away because we have to watch it kind of a few days later than when it airs. So make sure I'm not following any like pages that post about it or stuff like that.
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because like I follow a lot of pages because they post really cool content, but then obviously every page strives to be the one that breaks that news. Or
it's annoying. The official pages for the films and the TV shows, as soon as something happens, they'll post about it, and it's like
so frustrating.
I can't follow any of the pages of TV shows I like, because I don't watch them as soon as they're done, and they'll post like some huge thing that happens.
For a few likes on Facebook. It's frustrating. One of my favourite TV shows has come back. I mean, season 1 of this show, right, let's put it into perspective. Lost is my favourite drama of all time.
Okay.
No arguments. Nothing's ever topped it.
I'm with you. In recent years there's been stuff that come close.
Very
but
good.
I'm with you. Lost is my thing.
I think in second place is Fortitude.
Okay, I've never seen it.
Okay, so
is this the show that you're talking about?
Yeah,
okay.
This is a show I'm talking about.
Okay.
So when Fortitude season 1 came out, it was on Sky Atlantic over here.
Yeah.
And it wasn't their Game of Thrones, but it was like it had a really good hype machine going to be like, this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And I think it was well received, but I don't know how many people sort of followed it on towards the end.
I've just searched it actually. Oh, it is British. It is a British show. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it's filmed, I believe, in Iceland.
Okay.
And so there was it seemed like a big hype machine for season 1.
Yeah.
It seemed to die down very, very quickly.
Okay.
And the season, I don't know if it ended with much fanfare. However, I absolutely loved it.
Right.
And I watched it week by week. For some reason, I haven't been following it. We ended up just talking about it the other day, Googled it.
Yeah.
First episode of season 2. Like, I didn't even know that there was going to be a season 2.
And it was the first thing you saw come up.
Last Saturday.
Oh,
so I was
mate.
like, yes. I don't even have to wait for it. So we've watched the first 2 episodes now. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to spoil it. And I know you haven't watched it either. But
yeah.
Seriously, if you're going to get on some sort of drama series, maybe when you finish How to Get Away with Murder,
well,
get on that, because I don't potentially know why, but there's like, I can't explain it.
You can't explain it without spoiling it. Is it like a thriller or is it like a...
Yeah, it's like a Scandinavian thriller kind of meets supernatural.
So is it pretty like dark?
It's dark, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's why I like it.
I'm
naturally quite drawn to anything Scandinavian anyway. It's very dark, leads you in so many directions you don't know, and is also, I would say, relatively gory for Sky Atlantic.
Okay.
But does it in a really good way where in the last episode, again, I won't spoil it, but I was genuinely quite shocked by the gore.
Right.
Which hasn't happened to me at least, in quite a long time.
I feel like the last time that happened for most people would have been Walking Dead season 7 opener, which I haven't actually seen because, on my hate of spoilers.
Yeah.
I was I wasn't late to The Walking Dead. I started it when it started and I watched the first season.
So did I.
And loved it. Yeah. The first season of The Walking Dead, I absolutely loved it. It was only like 6 episodes.
Yeah. It was great though. So much happened.
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting. I hadn't read the comics before, but I was aware of them and knew certain characters and stuff, and it was cool to see characters that I'd seen drawings of be up there on TV.
Yeah, and it was like not many people in the UK were watching it, so it was like
it was a little cool thing.
Recommend to people when they're like, oh, I haven't heard of it. Like,
it almost was on the levels of like the first few months of Stranger Things when no one had watched it.
Yeah.
And over here, I don't know what the ratings or whatever were over here, or if it actually like properly aired, and I think it aired way after it aired in America. Anyway, it was really cool, and then they lost me in season 2. I just got bored. There was too
100%.
much other good TV to watch, and I just couldn't stick it out.
That's when I gave up as well.
They were just on a farm for ages.
Just
boring.
Interesting.
I don't care. So I stopped watching it. Always, eventually, with the intention, I think, to go back, but there was so much other good TV on at the time that I just didn't want to stick with it.
And then by that point it was on like season 5 or 6, and I was like, oh, there's so much to catch up with.
The worst thing about The Walking Dead, I think, is the fans of The Walking Dead. Like the general lot I'm talking about. They kind of are just happy to spoil everything, like as if everyone is as up to date, like watching it on like every night, like every week that it comes out. Because as soon as something happens on The Walking Dead, I follow no pages to do with The Walking Dead. I can tell you now, as soon as something happens, I know that it's happened.
I think they've put themselves in a really clever position where, as far as I'm aware, I believe it's aired in the US on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday it's on the AMC over here.
I think,
which is it's like prime Sunday viewing, ready for you to go into work on Monday and go, see what happened on The Walking Dead.
I think it's Sunday and Monday. I think it's on Sundays, but either way, I get like
it's prime for you to go in the next day.
Yeah,
and whereas normally you talk about, you know, a BBC drama that you'd watch that, well, if I miss it, I don't really care.
Yeah,
but you've got The Walking Dead to talk about.
Yeah, so like I tried to get back into it, and I got up to like halfway through season 3,
and that's when happens,
and that's when in real life season 7 had just started. So I was just watching season 3, season 7 started. My aim through that summer was to get through it so that I could be up to date and not have everything
So
ruined.
you only managed a season in the whole summer.
I only managed a season in the whole summer because I had to finish season 2, which was so boring. And I really struggled.
And you've been watching Riverdale, which I mean,
do you know anything about it?
You text me saying, watch Riverdale, and I was like, usually we're on the same wavelength, but I literally have no idea what this is. So
do you not know what it is at all?
Do a pitch to me. I'm a very busy man with very little time.
I don't actually know if you'll like it.
Okay, good start.
Basically, are you familiar with Archie comics?
Yes, okay, I do know what this is because I spoke about this with your girlfriend on the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a teen drama.
Okay.
Set murder mystery.
All right.
Set in the world of Archie comics. The main character is Archie. It's got Josie and the Pussycats in it.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
And it's so...
Is it done well, though?
It is, but it's done really well for what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because it's a teen drama in America. And a few of these things that happens in it, I do find a little bit cheesy and cringy. But then I'm like, they're supposed to be like 16, 17.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it make like some of the things they say and stuff like that. Like,
shout out to Degrassi, The Next Class on Netflix.
Yeah. That's so like, I get it, but some of that stuff is a little bit too teen centric for me. But the fact that it's like taken the Archie comics world and made it like a semi gritty drama.
Oh, it's actually...
There's like sex and stuff in it.
Shit.
Like, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it's murder. It's a murder mystery.
Yeah, I don't know. When I thought Archie, I thought when you said murder, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Scooby-Doo type thing.
Yeah, like someone would get a handkerchief put over their face.
It's like... I mean, I'm not spoiling anything with that because it's literally the story of the show is that there's a kid that's been murdered and you slowly start to find out certain clues about who it might be. Mm-hmm. I'm only 2 episodes in because that's all that's been released because it's airing in America on TV,
right?
And in the UK we get it on Netflix a day later, so we get it weekly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like they did that with Better Call Saul as well.
Yeah.
And it is... The second episode is better than the first episode as well.
Okay.
Like the first episode, I feel like probably was...
Always a struggle.
Yeah, I feel like the first episode probably was them originally trying to sell the show.
Yeah.
So they fit so much stuff in. So there's things like that. But with that, I'm kind of like, well, we'll see where they go. They must have something else that they want to get to.
Yeah.
So it's set in the Archie comics world, and it's just interesting to me that world that I kind of thought was all fluffy and nice. Yeah. It's like it's a drama. It's a teen drama. It's pretty gritty. It's pretty...
yeah. I mean, if they do it well enough, it would almost make you look back on the comics and see them in a new light rather than just, it's...
But another thing that I don't think a lot of people knew, and what Hannah didn't know, was that Sabrina the Teenage Witch is an Archie comics character. Yeah,
she mentioned that to me on the train, and I kind of just nodded in agreement because she just said Sabrina. Yeah, I was like, okay. So and then
obviously,
I did actually look it up when I got to work, and I was like,
and Sabrina is a
way.
Yeah,
like,
she's not in the show.
No,
yet.
Oh.
I have a feeling that she'll pop up at some point. And there's a really cool... One thing I do know, and the only one that I have read parts of, is that there's a really cool story with Sabrina and Archie. It's like a Halloween story.
That's
so,
pretty cool.
So I hope they maybe do that. If they ever get to do like a Halloween episode, maybe they introduce her in that. I do find it weird that... I don't know if it's just in the UK because of the sitcom, because of Sabrina the Teenage Witch sitcom. I thought that that's the biggest name in that world, Sabrina.
Yeah, but Sabrina was weirdly absolutely huge over here.
Yeah, so and Archie wasn't.
Not at all.
So
Very
I don't know
few
if
people
in
know of
America,
Archie.
I don't know if in America Archie was way
It's the
bigger.
opposite,
It's
yeah.
considered way bigger than Sabrina. But looking at it from a UK point of view, I'm like, why haven't you put Sabrina on the poster? Like, so many people would watch it.
Do you know what, like, you could just do a new season of Sabrina the Teenage Witch and everybody would be all over it.
I think if they did a new Sabrina the Teenage Witch, they'd get more UK viewers than they are for Riverdale.
Yeah.
Probably. One thing that I was going to do for this week that I completely have forgotten to do, and now we're coming to the end of recording, is I was going to just put out like a tweet or do like a Facebook, do like an Instagram live video or something, and just get anyone to ask some questions, and I completely forgot, so we'll do that next time. So be prepared, get your questions ready for next time. It'll be all three of us.
Yeah, it'll be all three of us back about 2 weeks time, I believe.
Yeah, these are coming out every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, 2 weeks from now, new episode will be up. At some point during that week, I'll put out a thing on Close to Home Instagram, which is at the Close to Home. If you want to go and follow that, and we'll do like a live video, or I'll put up a story or something like that, and just try and get a few people to send in some questions that we can talk about.
Yeah, or just anything. Like, we were kind of blown away by how many people listened to the first episode. So obviously, first of all, we just want to say like a massive thank you for actually checking out the show, because you kind of the number, like the people, you guys that listened to the first episode, like thank you so much.
Definitely.
If you're now listening to the second episode,
you're even better. I like you more than the other ones.
I like you 2 times the amount.
Yeah.
Sorry for rambling, but the response was really cool to us, and it's something that us three have wanted to do for a long time. So thank you for listening to the first one. Thank you doubly if you're listening to this one as well. Next episode, Joey will be back. Myself and Joe will be here.
And
that's about it.
That's it. That's number 2 done. We've officially done double. We've gone 100% further than we went last time we tried to do a podcast.
And we're only, I believe, 542 off of the current Are You a Dude episode. So
we're coming for you. We're gonna get it.
John and Seth, watch out.
Done.
All right, peace.
Done.